Whoa, yeah. I like giving a little yeah in the beginning. And then I realized that you listen to this every week, so I hope you like the yeah, the karate. These are the paying sponsors for the show. If you'd like to be a paying sponsor for the show, you can email me at neveragainstudio@gmail.com. I have information I can send over to you. But these are all my friends, family, your family when you're involved here. Very fast and furious. But you can contact me and you can become a part of the show. And they keep the lights on. So I appreciate all of the sponsors that mess with the show. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Contact me if you'd like to be a sponsor. Finishers MMA, finishersmma.com, @finishers. That's how you find them on social media. These guys have a show with us every Monday called Now We Go. You can check it out. Zach, JM, Thor, Grace, there's too many to name that come out of that school, and they are killers in the game. They are the biggest MMA jiu-jitsu school in the area, and they are owning the East Coast. You can contact them at 610-438-0746. Ask for Andrew. They are at 3761 Nicholas Street in Easton, PA. They have 2 locations as of now, Bethlehem and Allentown. They are growing into 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say they are taking over, but they already have. Check them out on all of their social media. They are awesome to follow. And if you're looking to get in shape, you're looking to choke people, you're looking to do anything at all to better your life, finishersmma.com. AllValleyRooter.net. That's not how you pronounce it all the time. I just say it that way. All Valley Rooter, Jared LaBarba. He is my plumber. He's the show's plumber. I'm getting him plumbing business all over, and I love that he is getting what he wants. He has 24-hour emergency service. He is certified, insured, and professional. You can follow him at All Valley Rooter. He's on social media, and you can find his information at allvalleyrooter.net. Jared came down over the weekend and he fixed a problem down here. He's super professional. I love him as a person. I love his business. He grew it and he's doing his own thing. It's allvalleyrooter.net. It's 24-hour professional plumbing services. He can help you out with everything you need. It's 610-762-1656. He's certified, insured, and professional. Do not be afraid to contact him for any of your plumbing needs. Support Jared. Jared supports us. Luke Delmeyer Handmade Custom Knives. I love Luke. It's lukedelmeyer.com. He's a farrier, a bladesmith, and a blacksmith. He has custom knives, and the best part about it is you can take classes to make them. So not only can you take a class to learn how to make knives, at the end of the class, you get that knife. We're working on a project together. He started recently getting into chef knives, so he's starting to make chef knives. He makes hunting knives. He can make any of your needs as far as blacksmithing. That's at Luke Delmeyer on Instagram. That is the best way to follow him. You can see all the stuff that he's posting. He shares, he does raffles, he gives giveaways. Check out all things Luke Delmeyer at lukedelmeyer.com. We've had him on the show before. You can dig down in the library, listen to how he got started and where he's at now. I'm excited to work with Luke. He's a really good friend of the show, and I'm excited to showcase his chef knife that he's making me. Check out all things Luke Delmeyer at lukedelmeyer.com. Farrier, bladesmith, blacksmith. Rips Auto Detail. This guy is the best, hands down, in the area. I've interviewed him. I know his story. He's doing things that others aren't, and I love that he fucks with the show. I love getting the best of the best and having them support and be a part of this. That's what the sponsorship is for. I'm giving you the best people in their profession, and Rips is the best at auto detail. It's at Rips Auto Detail for Instagram. You follow that. He's showing you the different cars he does, and it's at 630 North Nelson Street in Allentown, PA. He offers paint correction, ceramic, SPS coatings, and more. This is appointment only, and it's ripsautodetail@gmail.com. You can call him at 484-553-1366. I tell you, follow him. If you don't know, you want to know more about what he does, follow him on Instagram. Follow Rips Auto Detail, and you can see all the things that Rip does. He's a big part of the show. We have a separate show we do called Road Dogs, and you can check out his past interviews and hear his whole story. I couldn't recommend this guy more for your auto, car, boat, plane. This guy literally has done everything, and he is the best in the area doing this. Rips Auto Detail.
Give up. I am not defeated. and I shall hold my ground.
Ooh, hold your ground. You can barely hold your sword.
Then come get me.
I love the game still, man. I'm not changing it. I'm not trying to revamp it. I'm not trying to. I want it to be as real as this room that we're in.
Man of my word. Many times people just say what I can't do, what I'm not gonna do. But you don't have the power to prove that to no one, do you?
The JM and Zach, they work together so well. It's almost like they're twins or something.
Boom. Welcome, Trainer Don't Podcast, episode 3. I'm here with Erik Faust, owner, all kinds of, we're going to go through it, but all kinds of accolades and such, but owner of Berks County, head black belt, Berks County Jiu-Jitsu. Welcome, brother. Thanks for coming, man. I was late today.
A little bit late.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Welcome to you're like episode.
At least the studio's dope, so.
Yeah.
We had coffee.
Mike's here, so that's awesome. What was I going to say? I forget.
We already talked so much.
We already talked a bunch, yeah. We're working on an intro.
Out of the way.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get back. We're gonna get back to it. That's the hard part. You come in, you want to talk to each other, and then you don't have anything to talk about on the podcast. But what was I gonna say? We were talking about the intro, and we haven't released any episodes yet, but we will. We got an episode with just me and Mike.
We'll start next week. We have enough branded, like the lower thirds and the shit I wanted. The intro can come at any time, so we'll start dropping next week. We'll pick a day and then start promoting it and pushing it.
Yeah.
So I'm like early. So once you like get super big, maybe you come back and do that.
Yeah. You can do it again. Yeah. This is the roots.
Recurring guys.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. And you're not far, right? Berks County. I mean,
it was an hour.
How long you been at your spot now that you're at?
The new spot, 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a little bit left there.
Yeah, we signed for 5, so we'll be there.
Yeah.
Hopefully longer, but I love the warehouse thing, so
it looks cool, man. That. You got the big mural, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the mats and you got the doors that open.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
It's like a little weird going in, like people complain because they gotta like find it a little bit and it's grungy because it's a warehouse. But to me, like if you can't walk through that little hallway, you're not gonna be able to do jiu-jitsu.
Right. Yeah, so it's a little sketchy, right? People try to.
It's easy the second time you come.
Yeah. You just got to get there. Making that first attempt at jiu-jitsu is kind of a sketchy one.
Yeah, but what it's like trying to pay for a spot that visually is good and then have mat space is more than jiu-jitsu pays to allow you to have the space sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, man, you want to be out of the way. Like I don't think you want to be in front of everyone's face right now. Yeah, they're going to shut your shit down or whatever. Or, Black Lives Matter rolls up and burns your shit down, whatever, is that not true? It's not even.
It happens.
It happens.
It's in Oregon.
I have friends, in California and shit, that not in Berks County or, it's different around these parts, but, No, see, this is what I'm getting.
I think you described this area well.
Yeah, right. It is. I didn't do it. I didn't make it like this.
Yeah.
But
I grew up in this area. You're on point.
Yeah. If people fuck with your shit, you shoot them, right? Your school you built, or you had a spot before that, so you moved.
We moved 3 times now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to keep moving. I think the goal is to eventually like own a building.
Yeah, no, for sure.
If you're like, I know in my experience, we're moving to our 3rd spot, and after 5 years, the spot starts falling apart. Like by year 4 and 2 months in, you're like noticing like, okay, like this whole place needs to
be rebuilt.
Yeah, it's almost like we get it. It's bare bones. There's nothing on the walls. And then we work our way up to it. It takes 5 years to make it all perfect, and then we got to go.
I think that's the fun though. Like with anything, I have more fun building something than the finished product. Like then you just move on, do it again.
Yeah, flip it. Yeah,
I always feel like once the studio or like this is getting to exactly the way I want it. And I feel like every space, once you get it to a point where you're like, yep, this is what it should be. The growth has come in that time where it's time to move on to something bigger. I mean, everything you guys have moved out of, I'm sure was perfect for the timing, but like, that's why I'm excited for the new space. You guys have like 10 years of growth available because it's so goddamn big.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope we're just allowed to open run our business. Like
that's what's so hard now. You don't know what to do. Do you go bigger? Do you just stay safe? What do you like? What's the right thing to do?
Yeah, fuck it, dude. Like you said, you just gotta let it fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm more of a jump off the cliff, read the
Right.
book on the way down kind of guy.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm trying to get more like that, you know, because I think I was kind of like held back early in life, kind of like taught to like, you know, don't, because you might get a boo boo or something. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
I'm kind of like trying to get less of that in my, you know.
I feel like I went too hard and I should have like did some more of the other stuff.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah. I'm kind of, yeah.
Now I'm like, I should have read a little more. I just did a lot of jumping.
Yeah. Well, you do, dude. You do all kinds of cool, interesting shit. Like you got, I mean, you worked tattoos. You brought a Porsche here. That's fucking badass. You got a jiu-jitsu school. You're a black belt. What else did I miss? You're a gun guy. You're big into guns. I'm just getting into guns. We can talk about guns.
Yeah, we were talking about guns before you came down.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna do ammo, right? And
Yeah.
I was just talking to, you know, we do the chat on the 10th Planet World Order. There's an underground. I don't know if you're on Signal yet. Why am I even talking about it? But it's like it's Facebook, but not. I don't do Facebook no more. It's only gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah.
You know. So I just got off Facebook, and now we're on the Signal app. So it's like every school owner in a chat, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna start thinking about selling ammo at the school. And I heard you just say that.
Yeah,
It's a good fucking idea. Like if you have ammo, why go to, you know, you're already at jiu-jitsu, get the ammo too.
It's part of self-defense.
Yeah.
Might as well just do it all.
Right. Yeah, I've seen people like try to like open places that are like kind of like ranges. They're like outdoor ranges and MMA gyms same time, you know? Like it's like that's
I think
interesting.
it'll be hard here, but everything's hard here to like do a mega center, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I always thought it'd be cool to have, you know, a tattoo shop and a jiu-jitsu school and all this stuff in one, but then I feel like it never supports itself like all the time. Like you're just better off having like a spot for each thing.
How long did you tattoo for?
Started skipping high school and going to the shop around 97, like sleeping in my truck and then go and hang out there all day instead of school. And then apprenticing right after that. And that was probably like tattooing for money, like 99, 2000.
Look at that. I gotta learn how to tattoo, man. I know, like, my one guy, Reggie, he started working for a guy that owns a shop in Bethlehem. Like, and I could have very easily ended up working for the guy. You know what I mean? It's just, I just didn't because I already, you know, I was so committed to my school. You know what I mean? That like I didn't have, you know, like I don't think the tattoo lifestyle, I don't know anything about it. But even like when I worked at Horns or whatever, I worked at this restaurant, even that game doesn't lend itself to martial arts living. You know, people are drinking and doing coke, you know what I mean? It's just, so I was like, I'm just going to live like a monk in my 20s and then I'll branch out when I'm older. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even, you know, I don't know. But tattooing's like, that's a good hustle. 2 years and you're already making money tattooing. That's sick. You know, could you always draw?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I don't think I'm like a great artist or whatever. I should have went to like art school or something or like put more effort into it. I was better like
It's okay.
at the technical aspect of tattooing. So just like anything else, a drawing is just simple lines. So if you can just duplicate those lines, then you already have the image. So you're putting it on there and replicating it. So you just have to be able to do that process. So you can be like a technical tattoo artist, or there's people who are just phenomenal artists who then learn how to be technical later.
Yeah.
But I don't know, growing up tattoo, it's like we were talking about it earlier, and it's just so much different now. Like kind of like jiu-jitsu, you have guys who are just physical studs that come in and like in a week they're like getting it really well, whereas before like you have like the slower process, and like the old like 50-year-old black belt now is like, you know, you got to grind, you got to do this, you got to wait 100 years to get your black belt or whatever, versus same with tattooing. We used to make the needles like from scratch. Like we'd put the groups of needles together, solder them, then put the bar on them, then autoclave them, and then tattoo people. Versus now people are like crazy artists and they just buy the stuff and make these crazy pictures that I can't draw, so I can't really talk shit. But it's just two different like thought processes, I guess.
Yeah, man. All right, what are you gonna do? If you can do it, what are you gonna do? Like even
well, it's evolution. Like everything's different now.
Yeah. I mean, I know, like, I like in jiu-jitsu, it's just, you got to be, like, Grace, the Rotolos, like, they're kids, they're children. You want to win a jiu-jitsu tournament, be 17 and train from your time you're 5 and just don't do anything else.
They're better than, it's like they're better than me before I was even at the like.
Yeah.
I didn't even start till I was 30, and they're already better at 20.
That's interesting because like I know a lot of guys. Like I know Drew, like the guy, my last guest. He didn't start till he was older, and like a lot of good guys that make it to like black belt start when they're like 28, 30.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I started martial arts when I was a kid, but probably jiu-jitsu when I was like really committed to jiu-jitsu like 21, and I'm like I'm 31 now.
That'd be so much better.
Yeah, it's you know.
I feel like I would have loved more time to like crash and burn physically, and then like if my brain was at where it's at now, I don't think I'd be getting hurt in my 30s like I did before, because I was still like just
like when you roll
go.
Like you're getting hurt all the time, right? Like your body's banged up. You did a lot of crazy shit. You're jumping off cliffs and shit. You do have your what is that called? Cliff diving, not like what is it called? Fucking base jumping.
Oh yeah. That would be dope.
Yeah, shit. Like I mean, I don't know what you do, but your body's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From whatever, but you know, right now I'm relatively healthy. I work pretty hard to stay healthy. Like I do yoga. Eddie told me that when I was like 24. He's like, you should be doing yoga right now because if you want to do jiu-jitsu in your like 40s, like you're gonna be fucked up. I know Eddie's fucking broken. He's hips, knees. I mean, especially he's doing rubber guard and shit. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be fucked up if you do jiu-jitsu. It's just a choice. You're gonna be fucked up if you ride motorcycles. You know what I mean? I like my motorcycle.
I think that's what started at motocross, because got a bike when I was 4, racing by 6, so probably like 30, 40 ambulance rides before I'm 10.
Wow.
So it's just crash. You like flip upside down, get run over by other kids. Like, because in the whole shot there might be 20 of you.
Yeah, you're
You
fighting.
just take off, and all of a sudden 5 of you fit in a hole, and the rest of you just have to
Yeah.
get fucked.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All that shit.
I know.
You don't think of it adding up. Like all the old people are like, you're gonna blah 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 when you get older, and you're like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck that guy.
Well, you got to do all this cool shit.
Yeah. No, I mean,
know?
it's totally worth. I'd rather have cool stories than wish you lived life.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. And you can always just teach jiu-jitsu with like a stick or something. Just touch them with a stick.
Yeah.
You know.
Like a cattle prod.
Exactly. Yeah, you just poke them like, you know. I'm learning how to teach, like, because even my students will hurt me more than anyone else a lot of the time, like, because you'll try to teach them, and you got some guy that's like so nervous to even someone to touch them.
Yeah.
You know, like a new person they don't get touched. You know, and then like, you just like let me just put my hand on you, like I want you to breathe and just relax. You know what I mean? Because
you can't even move their leg. You're like, just stop fighting me. I'm helping you.
Yeah, everyone I think wants to fight you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, this is fighting. It's MMA and Joe Rogan and you know whatever. It's a squirt fest, but like I try to relax everyone. You know what I mean? Like I try to just get everyone to like relax. I'm learning a lot. You know, I'm learning a lot.
Well, I try to tell people like you can't get a soft roll with somebody if you're like giving them tension or sending that signal. So if you want to be like the head guy, you gotta lead by example. You gotta show the white belt like a nice roll so he can learn to like roll smooth versus just being like, I'm not trying to kill everybody. Because as soon as you grab somebody like with some sort of like ballistic intent, then they don't know anything. They just match whatever you do and they just never stop.
Yeah, and no one's getting anywhere.
Yeah,
no one's getting anywhere. We're just tree fucking. We're just smashing into the wall.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. That's cool, man. How long you been teaching jiu-jitsu?
Teaching? Well, see, it's been like 12 years of training in general. Like at end of 2008, I guess I got my white belt. And then I took over the school, like early purple belt. Like I wouldn't have wanted the school then.
What's purple belt you were running the school?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, Shane Mock, who was my instructor, had the school. He ended up getting a deal to go to Allentown. Remember when they had the World Class Martial Arts? Mm-hmm. I think it's like a Zombies there now, or was it the same spot? So he ended up going out there to just teach and not have to like do the school part of the school. And then he ended up selling the school to me. Like I said, it was before I would have wanted to, like, I didn't feel like, I still don't feel ready to have a school, you know what I mean? Mm. But, so I just took it over, just kind of winged it, you know, figured out how to teach. Just, I don't think I'm a good teacher now, but I guess you never probably
You don't think you're a good teacher now?
I mean.
Bro, come on, bro. You're on a podcast, talk your shit. You know what I mean? You're a good teacher. You know what I mean?
But I just mean, like, jiu-jitsu, you never feel... Like you're never like, oh man, I'm good now. Like you're just like, fuck, now I have so much more to do. You just open up a new door to feel like you need to learn more.
Yeah, you prepare to feel like shit if you because you're just this awareness of your shortcomings. Oh,
Well,
I
it's
can't do
just
that, I
like
can't do
guns or
that.
anything. Every time you go learn a thing, you're like, fuck, there's somebody who's better than me at that. Now I got to fix that fucking shit.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're comparing yourself to people, there's always better, there's always worse.
And you're always looking at the best guy at everything. So
Yeah.
you want to shoot like the best guy. You're trying to be Gordon Ryan or you're trying to be this or that. And it's just fucking hard to be all
Fuck that,
that.
dude. Fuck that. Nah, I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to like, I'm trying to figure out what works for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm learning that too. Like, I'm not trying to be Eddie Bravo Jr. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I play rubber guard and twister and all that shit. I'm not trying to be. I'm not Eddie. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
it's the
anything,
best
like,
at anything.
If you don't own it yourself, you're never going to be better than average
Yeah.
at anything, really.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that, man. Make it, you know, you got to make it your own, right? And even your teaching style, you could just be a good teacher. You know, I don't think you have to be like the guy. I know you want to be like the guy that crushes on the mats. That feels great, you know? You should crush on the mats. It's not like if you're a black belt, you shouldn't crush everyone, like pretty much. Like, I mean, and I've rolled with you. You're fucking really good.
I just mean you can't do it forever. Like that's I think that's the hardest part, like mentally with it. Like you go from like you get into jiu-jitsu to be like raw, and then like the end you're like, well, you can raw. I'll just teach you how to do it.
Yeah. I know, like when I go to Jean Jacques and stuff like that. Like Jean Jacques, like he's huge. He's a big man, you know, but effortlessly fucks me up. And I'm, you know, we're good. Like I'm fucking black belt jiu-jitsu. I don't get fucking thrashed by anyone. You know what I mean? Like he triangled me from side control, like. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like turning away from him, like trying to get him to I give my back a lot and just kind of like, you know, all right, go ahead, have my back, you know, and I'll just try to scramble out and end up on top. And I tried to be like sneaky like that, and he's fucking triangled me from side control. I'm like,
I got triangled from side control from Braga when I was a blue belt. He did a seminar at Rosendo.
He's small, Samuel Braga, right?
Yeah, and he would do the seminar, and then he would lay down, and then you try to pass his guard. He either sweep you or you pass, then you go. He stays in the front position unless you pass him, then you go there, and then you lay down, and then everybody passes everybody. So he taught something with like lifting everybody up. All these people came in, like ran right into his legs, and he'd like flip him over or do whatever. So I was jacked then, so I just came over, like ripped his legs down, thought I was cool, like Toriando, go around the corner like crazy. I'm like, oh, I'm passed. But this motherfucker is so flexible. His knees, like when they went to the floor on both sides.
Wow.
So I was like this. I come around the corner,
plant.
and all of a sudden, wham! His legs are around my head, and I'm like, you don't even think it's possible because you're in a position you just don't get triangled. And then next thing you know, I'm like fighting this, and my ear got cut. So then they stopped it because of blood. But so
guys are nuts. Everyone has their kinks and quirks and stuff in jiu-jitsu, right? I mean, I'm sure it's just like, I know, like you said, motocross. So like my one brown belt, Ross, he did motocross like for a long time. And because he did motocross, his legs are like tree trunks and you can't like calf crank them. Like all that shit don't work on him. You know, like putting him in the truck is a nightmare because his legs are so strong. Or guys got flexibility things, or guys got like Thor is just insanely strong and like, you know, and he's flexible, like wrestling. You know, it's like he's like a fucking I don't know. It's crazy some of the shit people can do.
Well, just the physics of the body and those weird angles. You get certain people with so much force or strength in like positions. It just doesn't look like
it doesn't even make sense. Yeah. And
then you try to teach that, but you can't. Like you can, but you can't because it's like that person's like everything that makes that happen. Sometimes you can teach like the concept of it, but not everybody can do every jiu-jitsu. It's just,
right. Too much.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to just do it. Keep doing it. You can show them. All you can show them is what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I like this.
But none of my guys or like myself, I don't think anybody, and you probably feel the same way, like none of your students who like don't have their own personality aren't like really don't stand out. You know, like everybody who like comes a little more has like their flavor eventually of whatever it is. Like they're not just a cookie cutter of you or anybody else. They usually have like, they become by purple belt. They're like, what are they doing? Let me check. Like, show me that. Versus like you're always just showing them, feeding them moves. Like they start just running off with stuff, and you're like, oh shit, what's he doing over there?
Yeah, you have to. I was like when I was younger and teaching, I was like, they're gonna do what I do because like they're my student. You know, like that Bushido shit. You know, like too much. You know, and like basically you learn like you know, I know like with Grace and Thor and like all these guys I have like. you basically just teach people jiu-jitsu just so they don't fucking need you anymore.
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't need you no more. You're, master black belt, go teach white belts, like.
That's what's weird. I feel like I don't know, like I'll go, like your students will go somewhere else and roll with somebody else. They're like, oh, this guy's so good. He did all this stuff. I'm like, that's because I've been showing my A game for 10 years. So of course you're probably the best guy at going against me.
Exactly.
And then you go roll against somebody else's blue belt. You're like, well, whatever. His blue belt's better than you anyway.
Yeah. I have students that come in, or I have students too, like exactly what you said. They think this guy's the shit, or they think that guy's the shit because of whatever. It's like, dude.
It's just
I'm right here. You
6
learn,
of one, 12 of the other.
I'm in class with you every day. Me and Zach are in class with you every day, and you're talking about this dude. Like, we should bring him in for a seminar. It's like, what? Like, no, dude, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, I got some young kids. They're good. They're good, but they're simps sometimes. Sometimes they still don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, like, especially like when you go like, I don't know, they're just kids. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny. Like, you do jiu-jitsu, you're trying to get laid or whatever, you're younger, you know what I mean? These guys are funny, like to me, it's like my job and career. So it's like, my mindset's like,
I never thought of jiu-jitsu as, I guess, especially when I started, like, wasn't like something to get laid whatsoever.
No.
Like, I'm going to go fuck my ears up and go pick up some chicks. Yeah, I was just, grabbing with some dudes. I got all my dude friends sweat all over me. How you doing?
What's going on?
Did you want to hang out?
I love it. Yeah, we just had to yell at one of our guys for being alone in my school with a female. It's like that's not the game, bro. That's not the game.
Well,
not in my fucking spot, dude.
We looked up like insurance because my buddy thought like injuries would be like the issue, and like I have one student who was trying to like tell me to protect all this stuff like asset wise or whatever. So we looked up like what would be the biggest issues in jiu-jitsu, and it's sexual harassment.
No, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
People fucking people. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it with Drew on last week's podcast about how just people use jiu-jitsu just to better their sex life, because definitely helps. Definitely helps.
That's what movement's key for everything. You
Yeah.
can't move. You can't. If you can move good, you can do anything.
Yeah, your breath, whatever. You know what I mean? Learning how to relax. It's all like
Gotta put the book out.
It injects
put
it
the book
right
out.
into like
Valentine's Day is
Injects it
coming
right
up.
But you can't do that, man. You can't do that.
So we
You
should
can't shit where you
sell Valentine's Day like sex game certificates and
something. I should be doing like seminars on like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like
OnlyFans seminars.
this is different. This is not competition jiu-jitsu.
sport and recreational.
Yeah.
Home jiu-jitsu.
But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, even man, this is gonna get crazy. All right, here we go. So
Yes.
because last night
That's the show.
I have a baby and stuff, so it's getting baptized, and then I'm like, but it's got to be Catholic because it's Hill's in charge, right? So it's like, all right, whatever. I don't give a shit. It's whatever. But I brought up like something about how the priests fuck the children, right? And they not only do they fuck the children, they move them around.
Yeah, they hide them so they can keep doing
and
it.
then I just see my dad, like my stepdad, just like, I can't believe he even said that out loud. Like, I'm like, oh, we're just not going to talk about how they fuck the children, like they do, and
like nobody else gets what. It's like the one thing it doesn't seem to get a lot of press in general.
Yeah, I mean, it
never has. I mean, I had Catholic school, grew up, and was raised Catholic, and it was brought to my attention through documentaries and people bringing it up like you, but it's never like, hey, like this is something that goes on, like it's not good.
But I don't
like,
ever remember it not being a thing that people talked about going on.
Yeah.
So it's always been in the background.
And you
but
figure,
people are like, I don't know.
And you figure how unconnected we were back then, and it still was talked about it. Where it's like, Jesus Christ, man, like what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, my point was that I brought it up, and then she's like, well, that happens in jiu-jitsu all the time. People fuck their... I'm like,
Wait,
not like the Catholic Church. Like, that shit's organized. Like that'd be like Eddie Bravo. Like, if I got, like, caught, like, raping someone or, like, touching a kid, like, he's like, oh, we'll move him to 10th Planet, San Antonio. And
the
have
umbrella will
kids
cover
there.
him. He's okay.
Yeah, I'm like, don't ever, put jiu-jitsu in the Catholic Church, But that happened last night, and then, it got all political and shit after that. You know how it is.
I love that you're the pot stirrer in the stories of.
Hey, they're mad at me. People get mad at you for bringing shit up like I did it.
At least you're opinionated.
I'm not fucking the kids. I'm not fucking them. You know, I just step back. I don't even teach kids jujitsu no more because I talk about shit like this. Like, you know what I mean? I kind of fell back from the kids just because I'm like, I don't even want to be involved with kids right now. It's like too much. I'll teach kids again when we get the new place. Do you teach kids?
I do if I have to. I mean, I don't mind doing it, but I feel like it's not my thing. I don't have kids, so I feel awkward like policing kids. Like I don't like I feel just weird yelling at somebody else's kid or whatever. I don't know. Because I guess I don't know. Like it's kind of like if you had your own kid, you know how to spank them kind of thing. Like, I don't know. Like I don't know. You yell at your kid. I don't want to yell at your kid. But
it's definitely not everyone's
plus
flavor.
I swear a lot.
Yeah, I think I said this earlier too. Like when I teach kids, I feel like my jiu-jitsu becomes for kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if I'm on the mat with a kid every day, or like the little kids, with like when I taught Grace, it was different. Like Grace, I knew Grace was potential, and I was already in it, so I was like, you know what, we're gonna see this through. She got a black belt. I'm like, yeah, that's my masterpiece. We'll just leave it at that. You know what I mean? I just get out the game while it's good. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
But I feel like when I teach the kids a lot, like my jiu-jitsu becomes like kid like oh, like this works for kids. Like teach them how to mount and hold the wrist down, and just, you know, like, dude, when I'm competing, I have to like actually break people off. You know what I mean? Like you've competed a bunch. I've seen it.
Well, that's why I miss competing, because I think like rolling in the school, you're always I'm thinking about their, like, my safety, especially now, just injury wise, and then your student safety. So everything has like a lot of like thought process / going on. But when you go to a tournament and you just all bets are on, you sign the waiver, I sign the waiver. Yeah, one of us has to lose, and then you can just get it on.
Dudes are getting after your toes and shit all weird. Like, you know, people don't talk about that. You sign up at the jiu-jitsu tournament, and you get a foot in your ass or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to pass the guard, and the guy just shoves his foot in your asshole. It's like, what the fuck? You learn how to control them feet real quick. You know?
Well, you'll say something about it until they grab your leg, and you're like, all right, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool, you know, like you've done, it's crazy like how jiu-jitsu's like super low impact, like kind of, it's a brutal sport because like you push it, but like you said, you did like the motorcycles, you did the tattoos, you did the, you know, you do the guns, you do whatever, you know, you're a weekend guy, you know, like and jiu-jitsu, you can do that all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like a video game. It just never ends. Mm-hmm. Like it's just the best video game you can just keep playing over and over, which I think is a problem, because that's why I don't stop. Like I'll get hurt, and then you're supposed to take whatever time off, and then you go into class and teach or hang out, and then somebody's like, hey, can I show? And then next thing you know, you're rolling. You're like, fuck, I didn't 3 matches, and you're like, I wasn't supposed to roll today. Yeah.
Well, you learn. I mean, that's really common in jiu-jitsu, training around injuries. Like people don't understand that at all. Like maybe you can speak to that. But
I think it made me better, like beyond the ability that I would have been able to achieve without it, just because of when you're limited, you have to figure out like John Jock with his hand, you know, he had to do different grips. Like once this, like my neck, both my arms stopped doing anything. So it went from like.
What happened to your neck?
I guess motocross / life / lifting / falling off of shit. But at this point I have cervical radiopathy. So they want to do like a level 3 fusion, which is like 3 of my vertebrae. So then I'll be like a fucking robot, I guess.
Damn.
And then I won't be able to, technically they say I wouldn't be able to do jiu-jitsu anymore. Because I wouldn't have enough like movement in my spine. It would just be like 1 or 2 of them moving. So if it would get jammed up, it would be shitty. But it pinches off my arms on both sides. So this arm like just kind of went away. I don't know. If you remember when I used to be probably like 30 pounds heavier.
I remember.
And this just started getting blue belt. I got arm barred, and it like pinched, and I had like some numbness for a little while. Then I went to the boxing gym, was sparring, got hit. My arm fell down to my side. I couldn't lift my arm. So I just kept sparring. My coach, Marshall at King's Gym, he just thought I was being like smooth, which I'm not. I'm like, I'm a white boxer. I'm not smooth, you know what I mean? So I'm just like laying in the, like moving, thinking I'm fancy, but literally my arm just wouldn't work. About 30 seconds later, I could get it back up, and then finally I could throw it, and I get hit, and it wouldn't work again. So eventually I went to the doctor and it's just like pinched nerves.
Yeah.
So eventually I have fusions at
Do
some
you
point.
do you do like any massage or anything like that?
Like yoga, try to do like traction. I have a home traction machine. I should eat better.
You
Probably
should. I got to bring you to my place. This Fight and Heal place. Like this. Dude
yeah,
will
I've seen
help
those
you out.
pictures. I'd like to check that out.
That dude is no joke. Like I hurt my hand last week, and I was like, you roll. It's my job to roll with my students. Like I'm fucked up all the time. I don't even talk about it. Like I just show up at practice every day in a good mood, and everyone's like, "Oh, JM must feel great." They don't even think about me being hurt.
Yeah.
Like.
What's
And
this
I'm not
part
going to
of,
spend
like-
all day talking about, oh, my knee hurts all day, or my back feels like shit, or you feel like shit, dude. I grapple. There's no seasons for this shit. Like, you know what I mean? I've been doing it 8 years straight.
Yeah.
So, and I'm 150 pounds, like it's a lot easier.
I feel like they're getting bigger every day. Like I go to class, I'm like, who can I even roll with? Everybody's so big.
Yeah.
And I used to, that's what I hate too, because I used to not ever think about that. I'd be like, oh, 300 pounds, let's play guard and just try to lift a guy and sweep him or do whatever. But now it's like, you girl over there, 130 pounds, come, let's roll. You're
Children.
Yeah.
I start with the teenagers, smaller people, women. I'll work my way up, and then I'll work my last like 2-3 rounds will be like the guys fighting or competing or whatever. But
at this point, I look at it more like staying relevant, still progressing, like knowledge wise, and then keeping the movement going. Then if I have to throw down like to save my life, then it's there.
Yeah, then that's different.
And you can unleash it if you need to. But if I go take some 20-year-old kid and wrestle him like
For
like
what?
at some championship
for
match,
what?
then I'm like, oh fuck, I can't fucking feel my
now
hand
I'm
for a
fucked
month.
up
Yeah.
2 weeks, or whatever. Yeah. They it's different how like if it comes down to it and you're like in a real situation, your body all of a sudden just it's like, okay, you have 3 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Like where you can really give it. It's wild. You could be fucked up. You got like the Revenant or some shit. You ever see the Revenant? Yeah, like that kind of thing. You're like, it's amazing what your body can do, like when it has to survive,
Because your body will go far. Your mind will usually quit first. So
Right.
if there's not quit available and you just gotta survive, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty confident it'll
Yeah,
be there for you until at
Yeah.
least when it's over. You might only have one arm or something, but
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's crazy how your body shuts down like that. Like I mean, I know Boss Rutan has something like that. Like,
yeah, that's
really
the same
bad.
thing. You know how he was talking about how he has to like literally curl every day.
Yeah.
If I don't work out, like just randomly curl, my arm just dwindles.
Yeah, it'll just go away.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then like this side, one pack and stuff. So it's ever since that tour, that was like the beginning of the end. I feel like.
Do you like does it fuck with you mentally like that? You're kind of like wasting.
Yeah, I just feel like I had like time to compete. Like the time that I wasted not competing now bothers me because I'm like, fuck, I could have got it in. But I mean, it matters and doesn't matter. It's like anything else. If I would have competed, I would have been like, oh, I wish I would have done this or so. I would have liked to been healthier at black belt just for a little bit, just to have like just some fun, like
Go try for it. Yeah.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
like combat jujitsu seems like also like I would have, been like, hey, I'll do
Yeah,
that.
do
but
that. Yeah.
getting punched in the neck just
No.
that wouldn't be the greatest idea.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people are actually fucked up in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing for fucked up people, like physically fucked up people, because like you can do it. You can adapt to, there's certain shit you're not gonna be in the boxing gym sparring boxing if you're, you know what I mean? Like it's just you can't. Or
Well, the nice thing is you
wrestling.
can hone it to what you have. Like there's a way to like make your body attack somebody. Like,
Yeah, that's really cool, man. That's really cool. Like that you're still on the mat and you just get, people got to understand you're giving everything you got every day. Whether it looks like it or not, it looks easy, right?
yeah.
You
I mean,
make sure.
figure last week I rolled like 5 days and 6 privates, so it's
Damn.
So-
Yeah, so that's busier than me. Like I don't do any privates.
yeah.
I don't really like privates. I feel like if I did privates, I'd charge like $500 an hour. I'm not doing it. Like
See, I prefer like small groups. I'm super introverted. Like I don't even like teaching a class. Like I do it and I'm fine with it. But I prefer like if we were just sitting down and we're like, yo, let's just talk about jujitsu, and then like you grab a leg and start playing, and then it just starts going into something.
Yeah.
And then I feel like you get better like instruction / conversation. Like we'll discover something together and be like, oh shit, like I like the way that works. Here, try this, and then you get more out of it than me just being like, you do this the way I've been teaching it for the last however long, and then like you keep adding stuff, and then they do it, and then they do it again, but you don't get as much like why and like how. Like if you have like 2 people or whatever, you can just get them to understand.
Yeah.
Versus like hope that people understood, or like one guy got it, but
you're not sure of your work.
You have this guy over there, and you're like, fuck, he's just not getting it. But you can't stop the whole class just to only do that guy.
That guy's got to hang in there, bro.
Yeah.
Tread water for now.
Yeah.
I tell
people it's a Tarantino movie, and you got to watch the whole movie. You're just not going to see it all.
Yeah.
It's just
I like giving people. I like I know I've taken class with like all kinds of people. There's guys like Eddie who are just they'll go on a conspiracy theory rant right in the middle of a lockdown seminar, and like what I mean. Like people are lost. I've taken multiple seminars with Eddie. I've done John Jock is more of like he'll teach you like a move, and then you'll be like. I saw it on a podcast he did where like Russell Peters was talking about how he gave him like one piece of a puzzle, like, and that's it. And then you come to the next class, like, and it'll make sense if you put 8-10 years in. Yeah. Even if you put in 3-5 years in, if that first 3-5 years in, you could quit jiu-jitsu for 3 years and always go to a city and not have anyone know anyone and just be like, I'll just fucking take a jiu-jitsu class in this foreign land, and then you'll have 8 friends or something, So like we've never hung out. Like we've done jiu-jitsu stuff together.
Right.
I've seen you, like I know you come to your girl did really good. I don't know her name. Raquel, she's she did really good at the tournament. We did the finishers open. And you had a bunch of guys there. Erik did the 170 for the money, right?
Ricky, yep.
Dude, I'm a retard. All right. Yeah, you're Erik. Yeah, Ricky, dude. He comes through and rolls. You were in Miami recently, right? And you stopped by 10th Planet.
Yep.
How was that?
That was dope. Yeah. Just Miami in general we made it just in time. We left right before that snowstorm.
There was a snowstorm in Miami?
No, here.
Oh, I'm like, what?
No, we left. I guess there was that Wednesday. Like you guys got hit here like 10 inches or something. The last time we got snow, we left right before that. So then we had like a week of sun, and then it was about 30 minutes or so, 35 minutes to Gabe's spot over there. Nice.
Yeah, not bad, dude. Those are some wild motherfuckers at Miami, right? Like the way they roll, they're like, it looks like Miami. You know what I'm saying? The jiu-jitsu looks like it's from Miami. Like, damn, like, these guys are crazy. Like, and they're all like Gabe's size. It's a cool. That's a and like you just went down there because like fuck, it's gonna snow. Let's go to Miami. That's a good idea.
Well, Ricky's family, he has a condo out there, so we it was dope. We just right on the sand there, so just nice
Ricky's
week off.
Smasher, dude, total smasher.
Yeah.
He came by and rolled with me, like, you know what I'm saying. You that's another thing too with the jiu-jitsu school, right? I'm sure you need someone to handle that guy that just comes randomly, like any day. You're just getting some black belt out of somewhere. And
I miss like being able to be that guy, but I feel like it's almost
less and
less.
It
has to be like a lower belt, like the school enforcer, like a really good blue belt's the best guy, because then like he goes and smashes them, and then like they think they're tough, and he was like, oh, it's just a blue belt that wreck you. So you're really not that. You're not that good.
Yeah, it sucks kind of at my school because no one wears belts, so no one knows anyone's rank, so that's kind of out the window. But I know that like. But yeah, you're right. Like I had to teach my students. I'm like, dude, don't let that guy go with me first. Like, bro, fucking, you guys got to wear him out a little bit. You know what I mean? Let him get 3-4 rounds in before I take on. Like I said, because it's running a jiu-jitsu school when you're 220 pounds is a lot easier than when you're 145.
Oh my god, I always hoped I'd get like just have that like old man weight and just be like 220 by now, but it never happens.
Yeah, I'm gaining some weight. I'm just eating a lot more and I'm on the couch with a baby most days right now. So for now,
you gain that pregnancy weight.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm getting like.
Is that a real thing? They say like the guy gains some weight too.
You have to, man. Or
you just eating when she eats.
I'm just eating, and you're with a baby that just eats all day. But it's good. I mean, I'm like 165, so that's nice. I feel it when I roll. I'm like, ooh, I'm a little heavier, like, and even in my mind, I'm still small. Like in my mind, I'm like, that guy's bigger than me, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm 160 now. Like he's.
See, I'm the opposite way because I was like strong at like 190. So then that was like my rolling around weight, 185, 190.
That would really fuck with me. Like that would.
And now I lost weight, so I still see the bigger guy. So I look at somebody and I'm like, 220, let's go. And then I'm like, now I'm 175 with no arms or neck, and I'm like, this fucking guy's strong. They're just like squeezing on your head for no reason or something.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's added so much like efficiency because I can't let you get certain.
No.
It's like the end of the world. Like I have to literally just tap no matter who you are because it's not worth it. So if I let you there, I lose. So I just can't even accept that. So
that's the dissolution of the ego right there, right? You know what I mean? You can't. If I saw a guy the other day roll with tried to fight Drew. And I'm on the mat with Drew. Drew's a big dude, like fucking 220. Like he's fucking huge. And he tried to like compete with Drew, and Drew fucked him up. Like he like did a flying scissor like takedown from standing. Like Drew pulled guard and he just backed up. Like it was a whole thing. Like and I'm like, yeah, you idiot. Like why would you challenge that guy? Yeah. Like he's gonna hurt you. He's not gonna let you. Like that guy is.
Don't bring prison rules to somebody you can't.
Yeah,
you can't
come on, dude.
with.
You want to do that? Like you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it to black belt. Your ego has to. Like, dude, I'm 150 pounds. There's gonna be guys D1 college wrestler. That's huge. When I was a underbelt, now I'm like, no, we're gonna see that out. I'm still in that mode. Like we're gonna see that out. I had a guy come in. I was on the mat with a guy the other day, and like you know how Henzo guys are this way, and you know whatever. I don't care about all that school shit, rivalry, whatever. But especially being 10th Planet because there's just so much attention, and you know we crush. It's just that there's no like you get hate for it. You know, like they're like everyone's. Like all that 10th Planet shit, you know what I mean? Like I know you do. What why does it matter? Like why does that make you mad? But someone they were like kind of talk shit or whatever, and then I just made a point to just beat the shit out of everyone. I still can do that. I don't know why I brought that up, but it happened. That happened just the other day. Like it's just there's. I don't know. But yeah, I saw Drew hurt a guy. Everyone's cool. Like if you're cool, you'll be fine. You know, like you won't get hurt.
You bring it on yourself. Like it's rare. Like you won't come to my school and any of my guys. Nobody will intentionally like. You would have to piss that guy off for that guy to make you uncomfortable or like crush you or myself. Like I'll give you the role you give me. Like if you want to hit me in the face and like do dumb shit, then
yeah, let's run.
We can run.
I do that all the time. Like be like, oh, you want to fight? Like if we want to fight, we can fight. Just let me know. Like I just tell people that like we can do that, you know, or we want to roll. Like people try to beat the instructor where they should really be trying to learn from the instructor.
Yeah.
Like because if I was Drew's size, if I was 190, if I was 220, like I'd probably just hurt more people. You learn that way. Like
especially like being small, and the smaller you are, I feel like the margins are. You have to really work. Like you can only be certain places, and if a bigger guy is strong, then you have to move fast, or you have to use flexibility. And then other people, I feel like people get mad about which attribute you use. You know what I mean? Like when it shouldn't really matter. You just.
I just won.
Yeah.
I just won. It takes a long time for people to accept that, like the tap, like just like because I'll tap people like when they're on my back. Yeah. Like I tapped a brown belt the other day. He was on I let him like, cause you know how guys are like stingy, like they'll roll with you, right? And it was competitive. I could tell a guy showed up. We're at this training cause I've been going to this certain place. I've been going to Fight and Heal every Thursday, and then this guy showed up, and then we rolled, and it went my way. And then next week he showed up with some friends. So I'm like, it's gonna go my way every time. I'm gonna do it again. Yeah. I've been coming here a while, you know, and I'm rolling with the guy, cool guy, you know, but. You know, he was like a little heavier and just stingy. I'm trying to roll with him, you know, just roll, and nothing's happening. So I start getting a little more aggressive. I'm starting to go after a little more, and then I end up fucking up, and now he's on my back. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm just defending the neck, and then I end up tapping him with a foot lock when he's on my. I mean, just I'm like, yeah, like that. I love shit like that. Like when you thought I was at the death's door, and I come back from the brink. I love that shit.
I just like doing it. Like not even like just like playing super submission on like just there's no bad position, you're just moving around, and then they get like that confidence, like they're putting in you in those spots versus like you're like I'm comfortably keeping myself in these spots.
Yeah, and I'm better. You know what I mean? I know I'm better. Like I know you feel good right now, but
I don't think a lot of people take enough time putting themselves in bad spots to then be. As soon as they do that, even a lot of high level guys, you see them go. Crazy in regulation, and then they go like overtime and they're like done, or somebody like gets their back and it goes from getting their back to choked in 5 seconds. Like it's almost like they've been there like 5 minutes in their whole fucking career or something.
Yeah, overtime. I talk about that all the time. Like my last match, I wasn't happy with how I did because just the dude was so strong. That Chris Sunshine guy, he was like a full size bigger than me. You know, he beat AJ Agazarm. And I just held him in my rubber guard. Got Gordon Ryan to talk shit about me though, like, which was a win. That's a win. He's like, this guy sucks. I'm like, well, if the best guy in the world says I suck, I mean, can't suck that bad.
At least you're relevant. Then.
Yeah, you're watching me, you know. But like I was pissed because like I went for an armbar like off the back and the ref called it, and like there's just I feel like it's like a mental thing, like where the break in the action kind of fucks with me. You know what I mean? Like now it's like a set piece, and it's like it just I don't know. It's like every sport has the set pieces though. Like in soccer, they do the corner kicks, and in wrestling they do the it's just part of it. It's a sport. I kind of like the old school, where once I'm in a fight, I'm like, okay, as long as it keeps going, like I can just keep going forever. I'll keep,
Well, it's easier to like move into a submission or like take the back with a transition, then get the choke versus, all right, go.
Static, yeah.
Because you can play anti-jiu-jitsu super easy.
Yeah.
Well, not super easy, but like easier than if it's in a transition. You just trick them into that spot.
Yeah, I like that. I'm trickery. I'm down
Plus
for the trickery.
The magic feels better too. You're just like, I'm so good.
Yeah.
You're like, did anybody? You look around, you're like, did somebody? Damn it, nobody got that on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have it on camera, it never happened, right?
I just started filming like rolling a lot more just because I haven't filmed anything or like been competing in so long. It's like I feel like there was like a couple of years where I haven't even I don't even know what my jiu-jitsu looked like.
Yeah.
So now I started filming just when I roll a class again, just to analyze myself and see how bad I look.
Yeah, it's cool to that's a cool way to teach is for you like put a video and like maybe commentate over the roll. Like that's a good way to teach people and stuff. I like that.
Or I notice for privates, like especially one-on-one, you'll be like, well, just do this, and then they do that. And I'm like, I don't think it looks like what I'm doing, but I can't tell because I can't see me. So then you take a picture of both of you and you're like, you can see why you suck and I don't because look what you're doing.
Yeah, pictures are huge. You see right there, like, oh shit, your hand's not in the right spot.
Or just watching your own tapes, you're like, fuck, man, I should have passed this guard 9 times. What was I doing? Like,
yeah, we could talk about jiu-jitsu forever, Mike. You see that?
Sorry, I always breathe too much, so I started cutting the mic down. I love when you guys get into that. Even with the Now We Go, like there was the fighters were here. I love when you guys just go off because it's just you're into it so much, and it's just you guys talk about it like it's your life, which it is.
Well, that's the hard part. There's nothing since I did jiu-jitsu. There's nothing that I don't use jiu-jitsu as like my platform to see it from.
Yeah,
because I'm like, this is the only thing, or the one thing like I've seen through. I feel like I got to black belt, like I'm still going. Like I know if I do this and do it even better, I could do anything with like those steps per se. So I look at like life through jiu-jitsu now. Like it's probably hard. Like you can't take jiu-jitsu out of your life at this point. Like
no,
you wouldn't even know how to like walk or something.
I like from a listener's perspective, I like seeing you guys bringing in people on your level, and like it's not too kids talking about a hobby. It's like life work that two people are like, it's tough to find other people that have put in the work that you have. So then when you guys bring people down here that have, it's awesome to just listen. It's like people trading old war stories from like Vietnam and stuff. And that's the most interesting stuff as a listener when you bring and you drop everything. It's no longer an interview and you're just relating.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's hard to find. It's hard to find guys to talk to about it, right? You're like you don't even talk to jiu-jitsu about it. I can't talk to like if my mom wants to ask me about something, you know what I mean? Like she don't get it. She don't get it, Like
or somebody says something, you just start like spewing, and they're like, I don't do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Why are you still talking about that pajama wrestling you're doing?
Pajama wrestling.
And we're not even same style-wise. It's just jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like, he's training, his way, and it just doesn't matter, as long as you're doing it.
I feel like it's all the same difference at this point. I mean, I don't know which I like better at this point. Like there's no one better. They're just different. I mean, with my hands now, gi sucks because I just can't hold on to anything between like arthritis and getting grips broken. So I roll no gi and everything. And then every now and then use a collar or something to choke you. But for the most part, it's like no gi is my thought process. But
yeah, if you took it's the most like you break it down, like no gi is going to be like the base. You know what I mean? Like it might be easier to learn at first. Like okay, make a grip, You know, that's something if you just do strictly no gi, you don't even understand. Like make a grip. You know, like that took me a while. Like
I think it's cool because it adds one more element of like you can't just sneak out of something. Like you have to worry about is there something around your neck. So it's a little more like confusing in some aspects, but then no-gi has the same confusion in other aspects. Like if you only do gi, because we were like primarily a gi school, obviously when I first started. And I think I did no-gi pans at blue belt. And that was like probably like the 10th time I rolled no-gi. Like we just didn't do it. It's kind of like you doing like a gi.
Yeah, tournament. I don't do them. I don't do them.
And it was weird. Like it was the first time like I was down by 2, and instead of like trying to win, I was just like, oh, I just don't want to pass my guard. So I'll lose by 2. Like somehow that's better. I didn't want to lose by 4 instead of just winning like I should have.
Right.
Not saying I could have just won, but whereas gi, I guess at that time I just felt more like I could, do whatever. But that was just from training gi all the time. But at this point, I really like leg locks, so we just didn't do them a lot when I was starting out. So now like it's like a whole new fun game again.
You have to, man. Leg locks are a part of jiu-jitsu now. That's, I mean,
yeah, well,
more so.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a brown belt, we didn't do them a lot at all. I mean, we like threw them in here and there. But then Nick Brango, one of my black belts, he at
I know
that time,
Nick.
He was just doing crazy leg locks, like really into it.
Yeah.
So he would come in lunch class and just tap me all morning.
Yeah,
So I just have
that's
to
fucked
like
up.
eat that
Can't have
humble
that.
pie. Like I could have like passed him or tried to do different things, but I'm like, I need to
learn.
solve this problem. So I'm just gonna keep eating shit until like it either sticks or I just quit doing leg locks or whatever. So
Yeah.
so finally now I always played butterfly guard, and like my game really fit with leg locks, so it was easy to just put that extra thing in there.
Yeah.
So once you figure
Well,
out
what
the
you
mechanics,
need for the upper body is the same for what you need for the lower body.
Yeah.
You just you're just trained to go for the upper body more, where like,
and for some reason the arms seem less scary to like navigate. But then once
if I have your arm, you ain't getting at my arm.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing with your feet,
Yeah.
You're leading with your dick and asshole. Like it's not fun. Like it's not like, oh, let's get in there with my dick.
You're
like
trading dick for dick,
Yeah.
not just
scissor me timbers, dude. Like it's cool. Like, and I like leg locks. I do them all the time. They save my ass tons of times. I just told you that story about dude on my back and I leg locked him. But that's the cool thing. Like you said, like we were talking about how like we're just talking and relating and shit. And then what's cool with jiu-jitsu is like in real life when you have one of these online arguments, like, and someone's trying to have, they're just stubborn or you're stubborn, and at least we can roll. We're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm right. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm right. So, yeah, that's what happens, man. And then you're just getting humbled, or you're
that's
just
what's nice
getting
about
reaffirmed.
this world, like the jiu-jitsu world. Like you can call people's bluff. Like you don't.
Right.
There's shit talking, but it's more comical, or somebody's just shit talking because they're better than this person and it kind of thing. But it's not like a lot of other things where people can just puff up and pretend like, oh, I can bench 500 pounds. I'm just not going to show you.
Yeah, like I've been talking about gun guys. A lot of gun guys are like, I'm sure like you're big into guns, so.
But you could tell somebody you're a gun guy and that you're the best shooter in the world, and just never really do it. Just post on Facebook.
Yeah.
You in body armor, like you're the badass or whatever. You got a couple tattoos.
A lot of that.
Hell, I did that tactical games, and I'm nobody. And then just because I had a beard and all the tattoos, and they took like professional pictures, I look like some crazy Navy SEAL that I'm totally not. So like, like the pictures make me way cooler than I am in reality.
We had Drew on, and he was talking. Even the guys that are in the military and are actually Navy SEALs, there's like Navy SEALs that are like cooks. Like the guy, there's the percentage. There's like there's 3,000 Army Rangers, and 1,000 of them have actually been in a gunfight. Versus it's the same thing. And
then there's tier like high level operators, and then there's like the rest of the guys, like the good guys. Just like the way we would talk about that upper echelon of black belts versus a blue belt talking about black belts in general.
Yeah,
like there's like there's
levels.
Good, and there's like, holy fuck, how does that guy do that? It's not even fair.
Yeah. I'm cool with just being like good enough to make money. You know what I mean? And like feed my kid and shit. Like that's cool. Like, yes.
I still think it's crazy that people wear my t-shirt and pay me to like teach them stuff. Like I'll walk in the mall and see someone. I'm like, that's fucking like, why would they do that? Why would anybody listen to me?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And then oddly being like a mentor and stuff like that, like you don't like intentionally plan to or whatever, but people are like listening to you and like thinking something's cool or not cool. And it's like a weird
and that's
responsibility.
what you get for putting the work in. That's the reward, like it's not for nothing.
Yeah.
And then you've definitely, I mean, just getting a black belt in jiu-jitsu period on top of owning a school, on top of teaching other people, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I think
True.
that's part of being a black belt is getting the black belt is like helping other people, and you're at the service of people.
I always said if I could win the Powerball or something, like I would do jiu-jitsu for free. Like I would just have a school to teach jiu-jitsu if it could pay for itself. Like if I could have a lifestyle that I want and not charge people, I would still teach them every day. Like it's just done.
Yeah. You do you have a regular job or no?
Owner, I help work at Ricky's shop
Okay.
sometimes.
What's Ricky?
owner.
What's Ricky do?
He has a auto garage.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so then he teaches and I work there. So we just that way, like if he's not there, I'm not there.
That's
Just
sweet.
back and forth.
That's a sweet deal right there. Hell yeah.
He needed a car inspection guy, so I'm like, the guy does whatever. So I went and got my inspection license.
Yeah. I was almost thinking I'm not allowed to work because I got to stay home. Everyone else's job in my family is important except my job. So, I'm with the baby a lot and stuff, but I knew that going into it. But I'll be fine. I still train every day. I don't like lift. I need to get back to that, like just maintenance, but I'll do yoga and shit.
I've been slacking a little bit, but overall, lifting in general.
That's 45 minutes, but we're good. We're good. We got tons to talk about.
What do you want to do?
They I don't know. You're doing good though. Like what happened with the pandemic? Did you like shut down? Did you like?
We did like the initial, what is this thing? Like in the beginning, like most people, we just wanted to see it through. Like I didn't really know if it was bad or not bad, or like, are we gonna like grab our guns and move in the woods? I had like friends call me like, hey, just want to know if shit goes bad, or can I come over to your house and shit like that. So once we realized it was, what it was or
a
whatever.
psyop? Yeah.
I feel like
No, I'm fucking around.
internally we probably 2 weeks or a week or so we like took off, and then like the inner crew was just like maintenance training / like we'll just roll because we're just used to going to the class, and then that turned in like 30 people in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I guess nobody cares.
Yeah.
So then, excuse me, we just kept training. Then it happened again, and we didn't even,
Right.
like I said, the warehouse thing. And
No one's gotten sick, right?
no, we had one person who's a nurse. He ended up testing positive. Came in that day. He rolled with a couple people. Like literally, like coughed in the one dude's face, like they were like doing
what
some
are you
sort of
doing?
exchange. And then he calls. He's like, "Hey, sorry guys, I am having COVID." Everybody, myself, we all got tested. Not a single other person. Not even the dude. He coughed in his face. So then I'm like,
Did you get the nose?
yeah. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it wasn't fun, but
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah. I don't know. Not one famous jiu-jitsu person. Everyone's been competing and rolling the entire pandemic. Like there's been fights in jiu-jitsu and not one dead famous person.
yeah. Well, that's like 99.9% survival rate.
Yeah.
Even up to like 60 years old or something.
Right.
So it's kind of a.
Getting the vaccine?
Not if I don't have to. I don't really.
No. My parents are kind of like, they came over, they're like, you're eventually going to have to get it. I'm like,
I mean, if I
see.
have to do it to get on a plane, I guess I'll
Yeah.
do it. Like, I'm not going to stop life to not get it, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It's
I'm not like conspiracy theory guy where I have to like, where I'm going to like lock the door and hide from the
Right.
vaccine, but I don't have any like need for it.
right. Yeah. It's weird that like everyone's just fine. You had it, right?
I did. I had it.
Was it bad?
It was bad for me because I have asthma, like extremely bad asthma. So I had it's funny because the new version keeps coming around, but it was a version where
See, now is the vaccine going to work if there's a new version every day?
yeah, I had a version of it that I developed pneumonia on top of it. So like it felt like it was two separate things. It felt like I had corona. I had it for a week and it was like flu-like symptoms. I felt like shit. And then pneumonia set in, and then I've had pneumonia before. So then like the back end of it was like, so it was like 2 weeks of corona, then pneumonia, then 2 weeks of pneumonia. So like, but I could definitely separate like, okay, this isn't corona anymore. It's pneumonia. But then, you know, it's all wrapped up into one. But I have breathing issues every year. So it was breathing issues with this on top of it.
But couldn't you just get the flu and pneumonia anyway? So like,
yeah, no, it could have been. I told them what I needed to get because I have lung issues. So I was like, hey, I need a Z-Pack. And then my mom's a nurse. So she was like, hey, he needs prednisone, which is a steroid. And he's just like, with those two, you know, he's going to be able to breathe. And they wouldn't give me it. They just kept saying, no, we don't know. And I'm like, it might get worse. And I'm like, well, why would it get worse? We already know that, like, you know, it's to the point where I get a Z-Pack. I could call it in because they're like, oh, Mike has the chest cold that's fucking his pneumonia.
Now that it's COVID, you can't.
Now that it's COVID, they wouldn't. And as soon as I had the prednisone and the Z-Pack in it, 360. I was already like 100 times better. Like, I was sick, but like,
right.
I'm like, if you would have given me this shit on day one, this shit would have been gone in fucking 4 or 5 days. But they wouldn't like let me get on top of it. They were very hesitant with the meds. And I'm like, it ain't fucking, you know, heroin. Like it's fucking antibiotics. It ain't gonna hurt me. It sucked, but I'm not getting the vaccine, and I had it. No fucking way. My parents are getting it. They're in their 70s. That's just what they do. They grew up at a different time. I feel like.
I mean, I've gotten
how
sick,
I grew
though,
up. I
for
don't.
like
yeah,
a week or two before. Like, I feel like it's just.
I'm not getting the vaccine. And even if it's to do shit, I'll probably just be stubborn about it and like trying, you know, I'll drive then. But you know, if it's forced, it's just my nature of who I am.
I don't like the thought of having.
No,
to do
I don't get now they're giving like flu shots out free at Rite Aid. I don't go do that shit. I don't know.
Well, the flu disappeared this year.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying is like I probably even if I had corona, I had corona and then I had pneumonia. It wasn't holy shit, here's a version of corona where you're going to die.
Corona's nearby. It's corona.
Yeah. I mean, the guy down the street died of cancer, and they labeled it as corona. It was fucking cancer. He had
that 10 years of
colon cancer before.
Was nothing compared to that corona.
yeah. And he had cancer for a while. You know what I mean? Like he didn't know, but then it was like, oh shit, he's got, you know, colon cancer, and then he fucking died. And my buddy's like, we looked into it, and fucking, you know, they labeled it corona.
Do you know how like you apply pressure on a white belt and they freak out and they just do everything they can to survive the position? That's what I feel like the deep state did. Like Trump put that pressure on them and they freaked out. Like there's a virus now. Let's get China to fucking make this virus. And I mean, dude, the fix, it's so right in your face. I feel like it's just
like somebody posted they stopped like the death toll. Like you don't see that on the fucking scroll bar down anymore. It's like
it's not Trump's fault anymore. It's not Biden's fault now.
Yeah, so like now like I see less of the you know, like where they like if you post something and then like you got to click on it and they're like, this is, you know, maybe you need some more information about the pandemic before, you know, like this is false information, like that's coming up less. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, they're phasing it out.
Well, they don't need the fear need is gone now.
Right, and it'll still be around. It'll be around forever.
Oh yeah, it's gonna limber.
Money.
Linger longer.
I just wish I would have made masks or something now. I thought, you know, it won't.
No, I didn't want that. Going. I didn't want that. I didn't want to just. I don't want to embrace it at all.
Yeah,
like the finisher's mask. I think that's not going to do it. You know, you know. I don't need that money.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not playing that game.
Yeah. Plus, I don't want them to wear them. So
yeah.
You can't wear them here. You can buy them, but you can't wear them here.
Yeah. I tell people. I mean, people
take the mask off you bought here.
Yeah. I mean, people come into my school with a mask on. I know, right? I don't even. I'm like, you look like a fucking weirdo. Like,
that's what's weird now. I hate going somewhere and people are looking at me like I'm some sort of jerk because I don't have a mask on, but everybody else does. Like when did it switched quick?
It's upside down world out there, man. They're saying like, I mean, I know there's so many things you just notice that you're just like, man, this is just backwards land now. Like I know like the George Floyd thing, like. Everyone's like, George Floyd's death had, like, Biden, that came right out of Biden's mouth. George Floyd's death had more impact than MLK. I'm like, you're going to put George Floyd, a fucking junkie piece of shit who put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach in the same breath as MLK. You're delusional, like, to say the least. I don't even have the words for some of this shit going on. Like, you know, Biden's undoing all the shit that Trump did, and you see him hanging out with Chinese, and it's like, dude,
such a weird, like hypocritical nonsense. Like, And then all these orders and like you can just take this away, do that, do this. Like, how can you do it so easy anyway? I don't know. It's just a weird like that they're even allowed to like.
And no one's really
play those
talking
games.
about when we're gonna stop wearing a mask.
No, because it's never going to stop. It's
Yeah,
never going to go away.
Like,
Yeah.
what's
It's
that?
a personal decision.
Well, if you
Yeah.
look at China, they were wearing masks for years
The
now.
United States of China, dude, welcome.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing, bro. We got to play ball. China's going to be, I mean, they own land here. They own Harvard. They own, you know what I mean? They don't own my shit.
And I feel like they hammered so much on social media, which everyone's, pumping from, that like they've made it where, they've painted out the bad guy is a person who doesn't wear a mask. Like so like now if you don't wear a mask, it's like, having tattoos back in the day. like who's this guy? You know what I mean? Like it's very painted to be super judged immediately. And then now they're not even talking about having to still wear a mask, but everyone is, because like what you always point out is like, it's fucking like beating to your head. You're fucking paying attention to the wrong
Like
frequency.
people like argue with you about it. It's like when you're pumping gas on the phone and people like freak out like you're gonna blow them up. I'm like, watch Mythbusters.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah, that guy's smoking.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, me and Zach get into it because, I mean, our families, me and Zach like kind of talk because we're like these two people that are just doing what we're doing, and everyone else is looking at you like you're crazy. I'm sure you and Ricky are like that, but like, even like to the point where like people don't tell me not to do shit with my kid. I don't know if you saw yesterday, I was like, I just put a video up of me like picking Benjamin up by the arms, and he's 4 months old. I know he's young, but I'm not gonna hurt him. You know what I mean? I'm just making him. I work him out. Everyone, like when he hangs out with his grandparents on the weekends, everyone's like, "Wow, he's getting like really strong." I'm like, "Why do you think?" Because I'm working with him, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not just sitting there. But they're like, "Don't pick him up by his arms. Like you're gonna hurt him." I'm like, or you shouldn't, like when the pandemic broke out, like they were like, just close your business, just stay closed and collect unemployment. It's like I'm not set up like normal people. Like I want Hillary to quit her job, like my fiance, like because I'm like, I'd ask her, I'm like, Hillary, if you really thought you were putting our kid's life at danger, you're gonna go to the Corona factory. She works at the fucking hospital. If you were really scared of Corona, like. And she's like, no, it's a real thing, because she'll get mad because I'll get into my shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I always argue with the same, like that. I mean, I understand like it's probably different on the front lines per se. Like they see the chaos, but it still doesn't mean that. I still don't feel like I feel like the chaos is there because people are panicking and they made it such a scary issue. So if they would have never said anything about it, do you think the hospitals would be busy? Like people would just normally get sick, go get treated, go home, live their life just like normal. But now because we made it so urgent and like it's this scary death thing that if you get a stiffly nose or like somebody next to you coughs, you better
start
go
freaking out.
Yeah.
They I mean, I know they closed down hospitals around here. They said it was going to be overrun. If it was going to be overrun,
Then hire more people and open up.
they would lose money on a hospital, keep it open, right? It's and the fact that our government cares about our old people or anyone for that matter is ridiculous at the same time. Like, I mean,
Most of the old people I know are more sad about the fact their family can't go visit them than they are about masks or wearing. Like most 80-year-old dudes I know don't give two fucks about masks or anything else, literally.
right.
They're like, I was in Vietnam. I don't care about a fucking mask. Like,
Yeah. It's really crazy, And I mean, jujitsu. We do jujitsu. It's not a comfortable life. I mean, it's comfortable, like we like it.
Yeah.
But most people, dude, no physical contact with anyone. You know what I mean? They're not getting touched. Even me, I do jujitsu, and like Arsenal will touch me in a certain spot, and you're like, bro, you got to get people working you, like touching you in the, because people don't even let people touch each other. Like that physical contact is missing. Like the struggle of everyday life. You can get, just keep feeding people buckets of fried chicken and pornography, and they're happy, dude. We'll get the flu shot. I'll get your shot. Just keep feeding me buckets of chicken. Keep giving me my internet porn. I'm not big on, like, dude, no one's jerked off more than me. I love pornos too. Like, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. Like, why is pornography free? Like, when we were kids, that shit was like, you had to go in the woods with a porno mag, right? Like, I was like I'm like the last bastion of that left. Like, now, like,
I didn't have no internet. I just had dad's.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you had to use your mind still.
VHS.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you'd leave the tape in the
My
thing.
first
Oh my God, that was the worst.
You'd bust a nut and leave the tape in there.
my first car that I had a system in, I had a TV with a VCR, a Dreamcast, and a PlayStation 1.
Baller, dude.
Dreamcast.
Balling hard, bro. I've been living the life for a long time, my friend.
Pull up to like a drive-through and turn the screen a little bit, and we just blast porn, just like just so they have to like.
Yeah, it's
like, yeah,
fun.
there's people fucking on my TV while we're getting there.
It's allowed, dude. It's America. You know, that's fine. You know, I don't. I think a lot of countries like ban it. They
Yeah.
don't let porn on the internet because it fucks with you.
But then it makes it weirder. Then they have like weird sex problems. It's just like the Catholic Church thing. Like when you make it, hey, you can't do this. They're like,
Yeah, I need it. Yeah,
Like I don't want to be in a position where I can't do the things I like, because then you'll probably get weird or something.
right. Yeah, dude. It's I don't know. It's scary because I got the kid. I just think about what it's going to be like when he's older. It's just like, man, like we're in for it.
Then you're like, oh fuck me.
That's why I just I gotta ride so hard for my shit because I'm just I know there's people that think like me. They're just not gonna talk about it. They just
for
stay
sure.
quiet. But I don't really care. Like people can think what they want about me. Like I know.
Well,
It
that's why I do all the stuff I do, because I know how I think. So there's got to be people who think way worse things.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and even like talking like this, people will call you racist, or I mean somehow race gets brought into it. I don't want to get into weird shit.
That's like video games. That's when I would get annoyed. You're sitting there playing, and then somebody says something racist, and then all of a sudden it's just people arguing back and forth like "fuck you" fest all day long. I don't know if you have that problem in Call of Duty, but
Yeah.
that's how it used to be all the time.
Yeah.
Like people just talking shit. I'm like, you're in a different living room. Just shut up.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah,
You
I
need a
don't know.
button that makes you like teleport to the guy's house. Then all that shit would just stop.
Yeah, at the jiu-jitsu school, that shit don't exist, man.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about. You know, it's
I got some kid running their mouth. I'm like, fuck you, I have that gun in my room. Shut
Yeah.
up. I'll
Fuck
come
you.
over with that gun.
Yeah, I don't even need it. I don't even need it. You know, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm glad your school's open. I'm glad like you're thinking, you know, because it's a community thing too. Like if the jiu-jitsu school wasn't open, like damn.
I feel like, I don't know about for you guys, but it almost helped in a way, because anybody who doubted how much they needed it figured it out this year when like they thought it might be gone.
Yeah, good time to know how to fight. It's a good time to be in shape.
Yeah. All the people who were worried about survival, they're like, hey, I want to, like, can you teach me how to shoot? Can you teach me how to like choke these people? And then plus just the people training in general. Like I think once people got home with their wife and kids for an extra 50 hours a week, they were just like, I don't know what to do. I got to go do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, definitely sign up at your local jiu-jitsu school. 100%. Like
For sure.
the trainer don't moniker that's been more important than ever, right? Like I feel like that's just more like the trainer. Like I don't know. I said that on a podcast one time, and then everyone just started running with it. So I'm like, I guess I'm the trainer don't guy now.
Yeah.
And
It's like skate or die.
yeah, kind of like that kind of thing, you know, like it's just perfect. You know, if you're not going to train anything, you know, because there's the guy that trains the guns and then he's all about guns. But if you only know guns, you can only use a gun. Now you got to use lethal force, you know, like I don't like in jiu-jitsu, I don't have to even choke you out. If I know jiu-jitsu, I can just use position.
Plus there's just something like boxing was awesome. Everything's cool, but the ability to physically hold somebody against their will calmly while they're like, everybody's consciously knowing that you're stuck is like just like empowering compared to like you knock somebody out and then when they wake up they're like, oh fuck, he knocked me out. But
Yeah.
sitting there consciously being like, fuck, I can't fucking do anything.
Yeah, and you knock someone out, you got to pay a hospital bill. They could hurt themselves falling. You know,
But they all complement everything. I started like the striking thing in karate and all that stuff. And then once I did jiu-jitsu, I felt like my striking got better because I felt like I could commit. Like I didn't worry about punching
Right.
somebody because worst case scenario, we fall down and then you're like, cool, I'm better there.
yeah,
Great.
yeah, absolutely.
And then like the shooting, I started shooting with Phil from Bigger Train, the guy I do all those classes with. And he did a private with me. And then he was like, man, he's like, I feel a lot safer like 25 yards away. And
Yeah.
then that made me like, fuck. I was like, I can't have that problem now. I got to get better with my gun. I don't need this dangerous 25 yards. I was like, I want to be nasty in that distance too.
Yeah.
So then now within like, if you're 100 yards away or we're touching, like I got you.
Yeah. All ranges,
Yeah.
distance. It all comes down to distance, right? What do you got for that distance? You know, like when did you start shooting?
Probably first time I shot a gun, maybe like 3-4 years old.
Oh shit.
I got lucky. We had like some land up in like outside of Reading, and then I had like a little motocross track, and then a gun range. So I've been like shooting guns since I can remember picking one up. And then at my 9th birthday, I got my first gun, like for a present.
Hell yeah.
And then my dad got killed when I was 12, so then I took all of the guns. And
Wow.
just started just playing with guns from
Yeah.
then on.
How'd that happen?
My dad?
Yeah.
That's the long story. So we had a restaurant and we had a party for the restaurant. Not we, but my parents did. It's probably like 100 some people at my house. My mom, like, she was drinking, so she passes out, goes upstairs, falls asleep. I go to my neighbors who were like second group of grandparents.
I know. Yeah. I got it.
And, so then they were going to take me to New York for the first time, Radio City Music Hall.
Mm-hmm.
They wake me up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, telling me my dad got shot. So then I had a brother at the time. He was at the house. My mom was there. My dad ends up getting killed or whatever. So then we have like, my mom's on trial for murder for like 10 years. She gets acquitted. We just go through all this stuff that you just don't need to do when you're 12, I guess. And then,
Dude, that's dark shit. Holy shit.
and then my brother, who was like my dad's son, but not really. Like once the whole thing, like the dust settled or whatever, they told me that my grandfather wasn't my actual grandfather because he wasn't my dad's dad. He just adopted my dad. My brother wasn't my brother. And then, yeah, all that. So it was
Kind of
like,
all fell apart.
yeah. So that was kind of like I guess where I started getting, the tattoos and like going the wrong path for a little while. Just no mentors, you know what I mean? Just like a young kid trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
And then, luckily it was always like martial arts and stuff like that. So I had like a decent base of decent people or like a good direction, and just I kept like fighting more for, I think, with like some of my dad getting killed, like somebody getting killed in your house, I think subconsciously it just led me to like wanting to learn how to be tough per se, or like cover all those grounds and learn how to like be safe. Because I never really thought of it. But I would always like have my back to the wall, or like sit in the corner, or like scan the room, or make sure like kind of kick everybody's ass in the room when I walk in. That way, if everybody wanted to fight me, I'd be like, oh, I'll run up the wall, punch this guy, kick that guy, roll over here, go through this. And then once you clear the room, then you're like more comfortable. You kind of have everybody like figured out. I never really like thought of why I did that till I got older and started like looking into psychology of like childhood trauma and all that bullshit.
Yeah. That's unreal, man. Dude, that sucks, man. It's life, right?
Yeah.
It's not a game. Like, and that's cool that, you found martial arts, dude. That's like you said, mentors, dude. Like even if like your dad isn't around, or, that's huge for a young man. I know, like, I've been looking for that my whole life, that's why I do the same. Like, and me and my dad have a relationship, but it's just like, when I was younger, it was fucked up. I mean, no one died or nothing. Like, that's way more intense. Like, and I feel like a little bitch. Like when someone tells me something like that, I mean, I couldn't imagine going through something like that. But it's good that you found something. I mean, at least to put you together. And
yeah, I think it, it's like an injury in jiu-jitsu. Like, it's not ultimately like what would you have asked for, but it kind of led to like better things, because it at a younger age, like I don't know, it was like more focused on being like, I missed some childhood stuff because I think I grew up fast, but then like it made me think about things I wouldn't have thought about, or like more empathy towards like people in certain situations that I never really like noticed, or I wouldn't have had the ability to have, just because I wouldn't have had that pain or depth to understand something from.
yeah, well, the people that are anti-gun, right? They never.
Yeah, I always have a good message for them, because they talk that shit. I'm like, well, my dad got killed by a gun, and I still carry the same kind of gun he got killed with, so fuck you.
Yeah.
And then they don't really have much to say then.
Yeah. I mean, what could you know what I mean? That's a good art. I mean,
because it's just like anything else. Like, a gun killing somebody is the same as like your jujitsu running out across the street without you and kicking somebody's ass. Like my chokes don't choke anyway without me.
Right.
And then like the gun, like sure, if there was no guns in my house, my dad may still be alive. But at the same point, like you can't blame like it's, you know what I mean, like the randomness of life or what happened. Like whatever happened was supposed to happen, and it happened.
Yeah, I was pretty sheltered. From that. There was like mad dysfunction going on, but it was all I never knew about it till I was older. I'm like, oh shit, like why
it's
don't
amazing
we hang
what
out
you
with
can
that?
see, like looking back, you're like, oh fuck, all this shit makes sense.
Yeah, like you don't even know. You're like, that's how it is, right? Yeah, man. You're a successful guy now, right? I mean, I would deem you successful. Like, I mean, you do what you want. You get on a plane when you want. You rolled up in a fucking badass Porsche. Porsche's fucking baller. You own a jiu-jitsu school. I mean, you did pretty good. So, I mean,
Could be worse for sure.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, dude, you're a savage, dude. Most people would have quit. Most people definitely would have quit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's I can't stand that. You know what I mean? Like like, cause I didn't know, like when you're a kid, people teach you like never give up, but that's really what that means. Like it's about like, cause you could have just took an easy way out and like my life is shit and just why am I even here? Even now with all this corona, you know.
I think that's what helped me young, because I used to see people like quit on things, and then I was like, well, what the fuck? Like,
and then what?
Like you didn't go through anything. Like, just suck it up. As I got older, but I read a lot of stuff, and they talk about like midlife crisis / like childhood trauma, and a lot of that stuff hits you like late 30s, early 40s. Supposedly, like you start like having issues with like what your issues were. So like I dove into a lot of that stuff, like psychedelics and different things, trying to figure out like who I was, who I am, who I was, like, you know, like why do you do what you do? Like why do you, like the things that are annoying about yourself where you're like, fuck, I just wish I could just stop doing that. Like, like whose fault is that? Is it yours? Is it your parents? Is it like the people you hung out with? Like, you know, like what caused that chain of events that led you to where you're at?
You seem like a super like I don't know, just like you're relaxed. You know what I mean? Like just because it's, I don't know. It's
I feel like I lived life. Like if I got hit by a car on the way out of here, like I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like there's a lot of people who are 80 and they're still like, man, I wish I would have done something. You know, like I complain like when my shit hurts, or like I wish I could like do a pull up or something because my fucking shit's banged up. But then at the end of the day, I'd much rather be banged up from life than just like have not experienced any of it.
Yeah.
You get no wisdom from doing nothing.
Right. I'm gonna lock my guns up now. I'm thinking like, damn, maybe he'll takes me out. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. Yeah. I don't know. We always hit a mark on the end of these podcasts, right? Like we always hit some major shit on the end of this.
You're like, oh shit, that would have been the podcast.
Right. Yeah. No, hey.
Now we just have to come back. Now we got a reason to do it again.
You know, the guys, I mean, that's why I like hanging out. You know, I like hanging out with guys like, you know, like you, like Drew, like Arseny, like they're older. You know, a lot of my friends, like, I don't even have a lot of friends that are my age. You know what I mean? Like most of my friends that are my age don't run businesses. They're not high level at shit. Like they're just thinking about starting to get high level at something. You know, a lot of guys my age are just starting families or whatever. Like they work a job, you know, but
I grew up in a restaurant / bar my parents had. So I'm used to, we had like Penske race team and all these, like, it was always just business guys coming in. So I'm 5 to 12 years old sitting at the bar just talking to random like 40-year-olds for like the whole time. So I think that's what made me like, I'm used to like that kind of talk and like talking with older people. I've always like tried to like, I like being the dumbest guy in the room, which isn't hard, but
yeah. Hey,
but like I'd rather listen than talk if possible. Like I think as you get older, and then especially with like owning the school and stuff, I find myself talking too much because it's your job to a certain degree. But I much prefer to be like, that's why I'd love to like the podcast idea, like to be able to sit somewhere and just bring people in better than you or / and like all these different things and just listen to them / interact seems so like it reminds me of the tattoo shop we had talked about it earlier. It used to just be like being like a psychologist / like somebody
I'm sure that
in
job's
and, like,
a lot like that.
people just dump on you because they're like, I don't really know the guy. He's got a tattoo on his face. He's not going to judge me. The next thing you know, they're just telling you all this wild shit about life or whatever.
Dude, life is fucking, yeah. Hey, you're in a position now where you can you're helping people. Like, you're teaching people how to fight. You're helping, I try to help people like I just see kids that are like teenagers, you know what I mean? I try to help them a lot because I feel like I can offer them, like,
You're in a spot where like you're cooler than the average mentor. So like,
right.
That's how I feel like I can connect to like a kid who won't listen to somebody who doesn't look like me or like do that kind of stuff. Like,
Right.
I feel like, look, you don't got to beat this guy up. You don't got to do this. You don't got to act like that. Like, I've done it versus like some like guy in a suit telling you don't do it, even though they've never punched somebody or been punched in the face to tell you to do it or not do it.
Yeah. Most people are seeing they don't want to go the corporate route. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, especially with all the nowadays how shit is. I mean, is it worse now or is it worse back then? It's just it's still shit. Life is still pretty much like.
I wonder if it's worse because every grandparent that you have the conversation with, like, people will say to us like, oh, it was better here and now it's worse now. Like, has it always been the same, or like does every generation just think it was better earlier? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, I don't know. You gotta take the good with the bad, right?
Yeah. It's just like technology. I mean, as much as it sucks sometimes, it's still like, if I didn't have my phone, I'd be like, fuck, how do I Google stuff? I'd have to actually remember all this crap.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally like forget almost all your jujitsu, and on the way there be like, oh yeah, I forgot, here's all the moves.
Yeah. Yeah, the phone, the internet porn, it never ends. It never ends, dude.
We did that actually for a little while, but it never made it. We did vixengirls.com like a decade ago. We had a cam girl site.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean we?
Me and a couple other guys like threw it together. We had like the LLC, we had the site made, and then just like amongst the group, like we just fell apart as far as friends and stuff. And
yeah, it's a hard business to like have stick by it type people do with you. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna find
it would have been good though because it was early. That's when like there's probably some money to be made.
Yeah. Now everyone wants. Are you a Bitcoin guy?
No.
Yeah.
It seemed fake or whatever in the beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. Like.
Yeah. Mike, what do you feel about Bitcoin?
This is what I tell everybody about Bitcoin. I saw Bitcoin coming down the pipe, and I was like, what's this weird shit they're doing? And then I saw an article, like they were starting to accept Bitcoin on like Amazon and do all this stuff, and it started becoming actual currency. And then they found out that you could use, because there's no way to trace Bitcoin. So then what happened is Bitcoin became a currency on the black market, and people were buying children with Bitcoin. It was
a dark web thing.
And then everyone was like, we're out. And then like now that's why like Bitcoin didn't fully become, like it was on its way to becoming legitimate currency as like the same as like Apple Pay and all that shit. Mm-hmm. But then you can't trace it and it's not tied to anything, which makes it cool because you can get shit and it's your money, but it also means that like you can do shit like buy kids and no one can trace it back, and like it was making sex trade easier, and then that's why Amazon and all the top people don't accept Bitcoin. Like I guess there's like still people who still like, I accept it at my coffee shop, and like there's like 4 people that come in and exchange Bitcoin, but like I do not believe that like it's real, and I feel like the people
like
involved
the
doing
money
it,
farming just seems like, how can you just like, can I just generate some dollar
that'd
bills
be like
at home?
me just like, hey, I got a cool printer, we're printing fucking $100 bills
that's
down
illegal
here.
when you do it that way.
Yeah. I've never bought into Bitcoin. Most of the people I know that are deep into Bitcoin are also questionably insane. So I mean, I haven't met anybody that I was like, oh, he seems normal and is also into Bitcoin. What do you think about it? Are you mining? Are you secretly mining?
No, I think what you guys think. I think I don't think you can make something out of nothing and it's valuable.
Yeah.
You
and then
what I mean?
once it was on board with like making,
unless it's like diamonds where they just throw enough of them away that they're still worth money.
Even I mean, even money's like that for real. But
honestly.
At least it has a track record.
We're supposed to have the gold to back it up.
Yeah, maybe it'd be worth something if like the entire infrastructure fell apart and like people were shooting each other and it turned into Mad Max, and then someone was like, hey, we need like a basic monetary thing, and then it's like, all right, well, what about this thing Bitcoin that never took off? Maybe then it would be real, but I just think it's like It's the same
What if
as like
Bitcoin
Pogs.
just closes?
Pogs.
Like you're just out of your money?
Yeah. Like, and that's the weird thing too, is like people are like, no, it's worth something. Like I'd be like, hey man, this mug is worth $10,000, and then you pay me $10,000. It's like, buying and selling comic books. Like, what are you talking about? Who's coming up with the worth? You? Just tell me this is worth this.
I think when the shit hits the fan, like you said, you had all these people calling you, like, we gotta come over to your house. Like, you know what I mean? Skills
I'd rather
pay
have
the bills.
I'd rather have a bunch of guns.
Then it's a barter thing, because
Yeah.
then like this would be worthless.
Yeah.
But then this would be worth more than a cell phone because you could put water in here.
Right.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, I'll trade you 2 plastic jugs for a sandwich. Like,
I'd rather have a bunch of canned goods, a shitload of guns, than a bunch of a fucking Bitcoin account.
jiu-jitsu lessons that get you far then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Chokes for food.
And I could be wrong. Maybe somebody would, I'm not interested in interviewing somebody on Bitcoin, but if somebody would like maybe explain it to me a little bit better. But from everything that I've looked into, and I've seen like Vice documentaries, like I watched multiple documentaries on Bitcoin, and I'm like,
I've heard people made money, but like I don't.
Yeah. In the beginning, like if, we were like, hey, this is they just sold their Bitcoin to somebody who hopes that what they're saying is going to be real. So they paid real money for this Bitcoin's worth $100,000, and then they buy $100,000 worth. If that doesn't, it's like a giant pyramid scheme to me. Fuck Bitcoin.
I'm glad I brought it up.
I've been angry lately.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So you don't wear a mask and mine Bitcoins at night is what you're saying?
Yeah. Hey, it's all part of that system.
Not on
right?
this side of the studio. I'd do that over in the lair.
Yeah. Hey, it's like weird how like it's choices, right? It's all like you choose that, you choose this, but it's all got at least it all matches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't make sense if you were like a big Bitcoin guy. Like you'd be like.
I feel like if I
what?
was gonna had extra money and wanted to do something like that, I'd get into like stocks. And like that's a thing that you can do and make money off.
I went to school for Forex trading and just never did anything with it.
Yeah.
I went to school for computer programming, never did anything with that either.
Yeah.
Just like learning stuff.
Well, school's a
and not
tricky
doing
one too. I mean, even like college and even sending Benjamin to a public school, like I'm not really for that.
I don't learn well under those. Like when I went to school, they put me in like, they made you feel like dumb just because
Yep.
it didn't stimulate. Like instead of being like, oh, what's this kid into? They're like, here, do this. And I'm like, I don't understand. They're like, all right, he's dumb. Put him over there.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to you earlier when we were talking about like just getting into things where you have multiple focus, like where I like kickboxing because it's 50 things going on at once. I like shooting because your breath, your elbow, but I didn't realize till
Focus.
Yeah, but I didn't realize like what it takes for me to focus is multiple things going on at once. So
if you don't focus, you're gonna get fucking punched in the face.
Yeah.
You better pay
How do
attention.
you like view intelligence on some kid if you don't get their focus? Like if you are focused, like if we talk about jiu-jitsu, we're like talking all day long, but then if we have a topic we don't like, we just sit here like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so like I think if you don't stimulate a kid, like I don't ever remember school ever like making me want to do math outside. They're just, well, you have to do it. And I'm like, well, that's the way to not get me to do anything. So now I'm not going to do math. And then like it didn't help me in the long run. I just hated school. And now I'm like, fuck, engineering would be so much easier if like I could fucking add some shit together.
Yeah. Some people are just, they're built a way where like that works for them. But I think like if you just get good at what you're good at, you have value that you can trade off for. Like you can hire someone that does math.
Yeah.
I don't do my accounting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like do math.
Same.
So, even like I did school, I went to college. I went to like some liberal arts college and failed out. And now 10 years later, it makes sense why I didn't do good at a liberal arts school. Like I'm like, oh, like I'm not a liberal arts guy. Like I was never, but it made my mom happy. I like to do that. I like to people please.
Yeah. I mean, my mom tells people all the time about my, whatchamacallit, computer school
Right.
graduation. I
Not
think
that
she
you-
thinks I got like a 4.0, which I didn't, but
Run a super awesome business and like, whatever. But hey, I don't know, man. Moms, you know how moms are. My mom came over last night. She was telling me about, I was literally doing this with my toes and she got mad. I'm like, would you leave me alone? Like, Jesus, like I got it. I got it.
it's funny though how like nobody else is like, you go to somebody else's house and their mom like can say all like the things that your mom would say that would drive you nuts, and you're like, oh, your mom's so nice or whatever, and then like somehow your own mom, you're like, stop bugging me, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And they're not even being mean, you're just like,
That's what they do.
It's just you've known them for so long, you can tell them to like
Mom, enough. Yeah, I just gotta. Yeah, you figure it out after a while, and like even like yeah, like you said, like kind of looking back on stuff, you kind of like, oh, that's why that is, you know.
I was like, my mom's super gangster. I mean, I think I don't know anybody else who like went through outside of like me being alongside of it, but you know, it's shitty for me. But she had to literally go on trial for murder for like 10 years.
Yeah,
and like, you know, I think it was like low 30s or whatever. So like. It's
like the prime of your shit. You know what I mean? It sucks, man. It sucks, you know, when shit goes south like that. But, you know, that makes us who we are as people, right? All that shit that, you know, didn't work out quite how we wanted it to. Like, that's kind of what makes us, you know? And, you know, I think we're reasonably cool people, you know?
I agree. You know, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. You know,
nobody else has to agree.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You know?
You got to like yourself. That's where it starts, right?
Yeah. Yeah, progress. I mean, even comparing yourself, like if you do jiu-jitsu because you want to be the best, and you're not going to be the best. You might be the best for a couple minutes.
Well, that's the hard part. I think staying motivated enough, like being hard enough on yourself to like move forward, but not hard enough on yourself that you beat yourself down when you like don't get some shit done. Like that was like a big like eye opener for me because I did a lot of different things. Then so if you keep doing shit, if you compete enough, you're gonna lose. So then I did a lot of business shit. I did too many things at once and like kind of crash and burn on a couple of things. And it's like losing 2-3 matches in a row and then be like, fuck, like, all right, let me get psyched for the next one. It's harder to build that momentum sometimes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm on a losing skid right now, but I'm cool with it. I really don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's how it was like the biz. I lost some time and money, but the journey is honestly more fun than like the win or the lose is. It's cool, but like the whole process is like what
I've learned to appreciate my wins more now that I've been losing. Like I thought my wins weren't like, but then I look back, I'm like, oh damn, that win was like that was a big win. Like I thought I just did my job, like I was supposed to do that. You know, like I'm supposed to win. You know, and then you look back, you're like, damn, I should have reveled in that a little more. But
I have belts and shit from things like so long ago that I don't even like. They're like dusty in a corner somewhere, and like I don't even think they're cool.
Well, because that's not the prize, right? It's that the prize is you. That's like where you're at because you did that shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's just it goes with it. That's what comes with it. You know. Yeah, man. I don't know. Thanks for being on, dude. I think you crushed. I think you were an awesome guest.
Appreciate it.
Tons of cool shit for people to dig in. Where can people get at you if they want to train with you or something?
The school's bcbjj.org for the website. We're in Reading, PA. I think that's about it for the.
Anything you want to tell the people before we get off?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Other than thank you.
Yeah, dude, you're the man. I've seen you around for a long time. You know, I've known you support our shit a lot. I know I've seen you at our tournament. I've seen you at Miami. Like, you know, I share something if I feel the need to. You know, so I appreciate you doing this. You can clip it out and put it on your Instagram.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever you want to do, or throw it on your website. Whatever.
Yeah, and then maybe if you want to, we could do something or whatever. Like I said,
absolutely. Like I said, we were talking guns in the beginning. I'm like, I said it's a cool story. I would love to come on, interview him about guns and push his shop more, and even bring somebody on if you want, that guy that you train with.
Right.
Yeah, he knew the dude from Keystone, so I was like, oh, this is cool. We can connect all.
Sorry for being late this morning.
You're good, dude.
Oh, I forgot to shit on Two Rivers. Can I shit on Two Rivers real quick?
Yeah, we can wrap up with
they're
that.
they're a bunch of snarky snarks. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like some of these, some of these liberals can cook. You know what I mean? So I fuck with them, but like every time I go there, it's always an issue. Like their food's good, their food is good, and they're a nice place. But that said, like every time I go there, they're like, "Do you have a reservation?" And I'm like looking around. I'm like, "There's tables all over the place." Like, no, like sit me down. Like, why are you being a dick? They're just snarky. You know what I mean? And then do you tip people when you pick up food from the restaurant? Do you tip?
Sometimes with COVID, but not like I have been, because I feel like people are more tippy now, like appreciating like the service. But typically on a takeout, I don't. Right. It's not like standard. Like sometimes
you might tip a little bit. Right?
Yeah, I'll put $1 in the thing, but like I don't tip like I'm at a table.
Right. No, you're not. You are not giving 10% because you're picking up food because they stood there on their phone until you got there.
Right. So I order a burger and fries, and I order a chicken quesadilla. This isn't like steak dinner. You know what I mean? So it's not even like it's a lot of effort. It's burgers and fries, dude. and it was $80 because I got beers too. So I spent $80 and on a burger and fries and a couple beers for me and my lady. Like that's not cheap. It's it's $80. And I take the food home and I set it on the table. I'm psyched to eat it, and then the tip is circled on the receipt like in purple. And I'm like, the fuck? Because like on the menu, like you order on your phone, and I ordered. They only allow you to tip 15, 20, 25%. So it's like on an $80 tab, that's $20 tip. I'm not doing that to pick up food, right?
Yeah.
Am I an asshole?
You're not being served.
It seems a little excessive.
Yeah.
Like if they delivered it.
Yeah.
I deliver food. I tip. I know about tipping, dude. I tip. But the tip was circled and it pissed me off. Like it ruined my whole dinner, kind of. And then Hillary's just like, just leave it go.
What do they think? They circled it because you didn't tip? Is that what she was doing?
Why else would you circle it?
Because I mean, you would arguably you're tipping for the service that they provide you within the store, not the service of making your food.
Right.
Because the chef doesn't get the tip anyway.
Right.
The waitress does. So the only person really doing you a solid there is the chef making your food. And then he's just putting it on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I got beer, so I guess the bartender wanted a tip, but I mean, literally, like.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if this was different times, you wouldn't tip on pickup. And it's like on pickup, all it is I've worked in a restaurant. You make the food, you put it in the window, and the hostess who stands there and waits for people to seat stands there. I'm sure there's other things she does, but at the same time, what do you want me to tip you for? Because you were on your phone and then the guy made the food and then he handed it to you and now I got to give you $20 because you handed it to me.
Especially when you're like a snarky. Every time I go there, dude, this is like repetitive. I like the food. I like it.
I feel like it's the difference between like if we're in class and you're like, hey, what's that grip you're using? And I sit down and I talk to you for 5 minutes and we actually we get into like a little like thing, and then that would be like me leaving a receipt for like $20.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, well, it's a little bit of a private.
The other thing too,
all the time. I like when someone doesn't get a move right away. I was like, I'm gonna start charging you extra, bro. You better figure this shit out.
And plus,
I did some solid work.
The seating's back open.
Yeah, I know, but it's like I'm just saying, like when we got the baby, so even going out to a restaurant is I gotta have a sitter now and shit. So I like pick up the food and have dinner at the house, but it's just
I feel like a happy medium. Like I get it. Like if there's waitresses there who are working and aren't getting paid, like I don't have a problem putting like a small percentage towards that.
But like you're not gonna make me give you 20% on that. Like I would have put $5 down if there would have been some other tip option, but there wasn't. It's 10, it's 15, 20, 25. I'm like
the forced thing again makes it weird.
Yeah,
too.
no. I'm not doing it.
If you're the type of person that wants to circle the tip because you want to tip, you're an asshole.
Good luck. Yeah, thank you.
You don't deserve money.
Thank you. Tipping is a whole thing. We can get into that.
Well, it's just like the school. Like when people come in, I talk to them about jiu-jitsu, not the prices, until they ask me about how much it costs.
I don't know if you have do you have a manager for the school?
Me and Brian just back and forth.
Yeah, you should think about it. Yeah. Get like some, like we have. I don't know what's going on up there, but I don't even involve myself in signing people up anymore at all. I have nothing to do with it. People ask me how much rash guards are. I'm like, I'm not that guy. I don't sell rash guards.
I prefer to stay out of it because I'd rather just
teach jiu-jitsu
and stuff. I don't want to be the bad guy ever.
Right. Yeah. And if you can save your money and give it to someone real, do it. That's what I always say. That's my new motto. Pimp named Sharp.
Close up. We got romper room, and you guys.
I don't know what's going on up there.
No clue. Can't wait to find out. Plus, you probably got to piss, and we got to watch tickets on the cars.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right. Yeah. So Trainer Don't podcast. That's this that we're doing. It should be out in like a week or two, maybe another week after that, because this is our third episode. Yeah. We'll have more guests next week. I'm having Bryant Pabon on. He's one of my purple belts. He's a beast strength and conditioning guy. He's going to be running our strength and conditioning situation at the new school. So look out for more cool guests. I don't know. This is my life. I just hang out with bad motherfuckers all the time, Thanks for sharing all your shit, man. I learned a lot, and it was cool just chopping it up with you.
Shoot and do some.
Yeah, dude, I would love to, because I can't. I'm not doing any there's nothing around here that I have friends that I go with for people. So I'll go up if you're doing like a class or some shit at that range you were saying. Like I'll gladly go do that. I just got a lever rifle that I don't have any ammo for, so I want to get nice with that lever rifle. I want to be like, whatever. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Mike, thank you. I'm sorry for being late.
You're good, dude. NeverAgainStudio.com has all the stuff for Never Again, all the podcasts, the other programs we do, Now We Go, and everything else is on there as well. You can check all that out. And
that's it.
God bless. Be safe. Drive safe.
I believe it's